Welcome to Wayne's Weird World. It's only half a W Velleman. What a lot of people ask questions about, you can find so much information in your local library, on the internet. Just make sure you ask a good question. Velleman is the outer covering on the orchid roots. It's like a sponge. When they go green, you know you've got the growing period coming on. They will be brown sometimes. That is probably just a dormant root. But the only way to really find out is to give it a little squeeze. Because dead ones that are just a Velleman, and it's not an active growing root, will be hollow, and you can just hold on to it and give it a pull, and you just end up with that, which is fine if you want to mount your orchid, because those still give a good purchase on your mounting. Always clean what you're cutting with. That's just household bleach. This is another good example of that dead Velleman, the dead root. Let's say it just peels away. But when you're mounting, having your fish liner, wire, or raffia across that still can be a good thing. You'll oftentimes see a little crack or a little break. And if you cut and it's brown inside, you know it's dead. Now these I'm not so sure about because no, you can feel it. It's just like an empty hull, empty husk. Yep, that's it. So if you want to prepare your orchid from an aesthetic point of view, that's probably a good thing. If you want to look at your orchid from a healthy organism, those actually hold water as well, like a sponge. This one is the growing feeding root, and that little gem on the tip, look after them. Now this one doesn't feel as spongy. Oh, it does there, so I'm just going to cut and see if it's green inside. Oh, it is. Good healthy root. So we'll leave that. It'll heal over. And that little green end, it'll end up putting off a little side branch like some of these other ones. It's always better to be a little bit cautious and give it some time. Don't be too hasty. Work your way around. You can always go back and take a few more off another day. If you take off too much, that's sort of the end of it, isn't it? This has only been on the mount for a few months. Yep. And I didn't want to do too much tidying up. Oops. Green. That's what you don't want to do. But I've already done it. This was a Potanara Orglades traditional sunset. And it was a really nice flower. And now it's pretty much past it. So hold on to the stem, bend it back, break it off. It should come. Give it a bit of a twist. There we go. That's all for the rubbish. I'll trim that back a little bit later. There's a few others I might trim later, but for right now, I think I'll just leave it. So don't be so hasty. Some of these might put out some new growing tips, just like this one up here. You've got to have a look at this one. This is what I mean. It looks dead and brown, but look what it's doing. all these lovely, lovely, healthy growing tips, even little tiny buds like that. So don't be too hasty. They will decide what they want to do. And that's it. Orchid Roots. Try not to be too hasty. Let them do what they like doing. In the meantime, I'll do what I like doing. It's always 1 o'clock somewhere. Wayne's Weird World. See ya.